Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. For those that are new here, a little bit about me. I am currently stationed in Okinawa, Japan. I am serving in the United States Air Force and I am 21 years old, and I will be posting this video May 16th. And the reason why May 16th is so important because 2 years ago, I left for basic and I joined the United States Air Force, which is insane to think about. It's already been 2 years since I've joined, and looking back on my journey, I have grown and learned so much that I will be sharing with y'all today. And I have met so many people and explored places that I would never have done if I was still in Texas. And I am so excited to be sharing it with y'all today. Before we get into the video, I do have to give a quick disclaimer that this is solely based off my experience and my opinions. I am not sponsored or endorsed by the Air Force or DoD. I'm just a girl making my little YouTube videos in my pink dorm. And with further ado, let's get into the video. Honestly, I didn't really know what to expect when joining the military. There is so many basic training and like tech school videos out there, which is great. Like I was one of those consumers, but I wish people would have talked more about the real Air Force. I always forget what the word is, active duty Air Force. It's once you're done with tech school, basically when you get to your first base and you're no longer an AIT and you have freedom, because when you're in the Air Force, you do get freedom after tech school, okay? And that is why I make videos like this and I make content like this, because I wish someone would have made videos like this so I could watch it and be real and honest, not just a generic, oh, the Air Force is great and it's amazing. And like, yeah, like I personally, I love the Air Force. I like being in the military. I like my job. I love that I'm in Japan. But people don't talk about the negative sides of it or the harsh truths. And I feel like, especially because we're so young, like most of us are very young when we joined the military. I was 19 years old. Some people are 17, some people are 18. We're coming straight out of high school. And this is good advice that I'm going to be giving y'all. And I have a bunch of other videos on my channel already talking about different Air Force experiences I've been through, what I wish I knew before joining. I got a breast reduction fully paid for by the military, and I have put my whole journey on my channel. I've made a playlist about it if you guys are interested. But honestly, I wasn't expecting much when I joined, and I have definitely been for a ride. When you join and when you're in the process of joining, like basic training seems like the most biggest hurdle ever. You're like, oh my god, I'm gonna be stuck in this room with 50 something people being screamed at for like 8 weeks. But looking back on it, like basic was fun. It really was. And it's crazy to think that that's such a big hurdle and it stops so many people from joining, because when you get where I'm at and even further in my career, like you honestly forget you went through basic training and you forget everybody else went through basic training until you just think about it one day. You're like, huh, interesting. Like you just forget and it feels like a fever dream. The things they make you do is honestly like so ridiculous to you now that you're like, why was I even scared? But it's like fond memories. That's the only way I can describe it. It's honestly one of the easiest things you will do, and everybody has like such different BMT experiences, and I love making fun of like the techs and staff. So I'm like, oh, back in your day, what did you do? It's just funny. Like basic is funny to talk about, and if that is what y'all are worried about when joining the military, trust that like that is the least thing you need to worry about. That is honestly one of the easiest things you will do. My tech school was at Shepherd. Shepherd's crazy. Shepherd is like notorious for people doing subsystems they should not be doing. So be smart, be safe. Do not get kicked out of the military when you're in training. That is so stupid. Don't be stupid, airman, okay? Make good choices. In terms of my job, the Air Force like doesn't really have much on my job on their page. Like it's very cryptic in my opinion. My job is maintenance management production. When I joined, it was 2R1X1, but we, as of end of October 2023, we got merged with my counterpart analysis, which they were 2R0X1. Our duty title is still maintenance management production, but we're 2R2 now. And I don't know what our new like AFSC code is. Like when I look at the Air Force, I could still find our old AFSC codes, and I haven't looked at the new one. So just look up maintenance management production Air Force and you will find my job. And I will be making a video on it soon. Don't worry. There wasn't much about my job, and I took a shot in the dark. It was my number 7 out of 10. And I remember today, I actually have a screenshot of it. My recruiter messaged me and she was like, hey ma'am, like you're gonna be slotted for this job today. do you want it? I remember sitting there and I'm like on the phone with my stepmom, and I'm like reading the description on the Air Force website, and I'm like, I can build a schedule, and my job is not hard. I'm gonna touch a little bit on mom mentality in a little bit, but my job is not hard at all. Like, yes, it can be mentally taxing, and because I'm staring at a computer all day and I'm doing a lot of mental work, but it's not bad, and I don't regret joining it. I will say though, I do want y'all to know this, that you can say no. If you get a job, you'd be like, like, you don't have to accept the job, like, and you do not have to be forced in open general. My recruiter was really good. Like, she really cared about me. She really helped me. I've met a lot of people whose recruiters push them into open general. That's bull. You don't have to do that. You can, like, don't draw block yourself. You can if you really want to, but like, you don't have to be forced into anything you don't want to, because at the end of the day, it is your career, and it's just another number for the recruiter. So pick wisely. Some of the biggest changes I've noticed is just like overall like confidence. You are put into so many leadership roles within the military, and I am just naturally like a go-getter, and just watching like, I hit my mic, just watching my YouTube videos like progress, because I'll go back and I watch them sometimes, because I mainly make this YouTube channel for me, and I just love watching like myself. That sounds so conceited, but I like seeing my growth. Okay, I like seeing my growth, and I like hearing like what I was thinking at that point of time in my life. It's very refreshing, and it just reminds me of how much I've grown, and I have gained so much confidence, especially in the last year of filming. I am very proud, and honestly, I've had to gain a lot of mental like toughness and resilience, especially coming straight out of high school, moving overseas, living on your own, and with the time difference and like not knowing a lot of people. It can be really tough, and it can be really lonely. And you can either crumble under the weight, or you could come out stronger. Another thing that I have noticed in the military that I've really had to overcome, not that I've ever fallen into it, but you will definitely feel the pressure. I call it the military mob mentality. And if you feel called out by this, if you're in the military and you feel called out by it, instead of coming and attacking me, reevaluate yourself for a second and ask yourself why it's bothering you. Because what I'm about to talk about is very real, and it's that like everybody complains, and they gripe about their job, they gripe about their life, they like, oh, I hate the military and I want to leave. And guess what they do every day? They go home, they work out, they play their games, and they drink on the weekends and sometimes on the weekdays, and they do that on repeat. And that is sad. I think it's sad. I personally do. If that's all you're doing, and not to say like playing video games and working out's bad. Like, I do both. Like, but there's a balance, and you would be surprised of how many people join and be like, "Oh, I don't want to stay in." Which there's nothing wrong with not staying in. I don't care if you want to stay in or not. But when you're like, "Oh, I don't want to stay in. I hate my job. I hate my life," but you're not going to college. You're not doing anything to like better yourself and prepare yourself for when you leave the military, but you're just bitching and complaining. It's not going to get you anywhere. And when you're constantly surrounded by that, I noticed that it's really easy for you to fall into the same mindset and be dragged down by their dead weight. Not to say like they're bad people, but it is loser mentality. And as Nicki Minaj said, it is not cool to be a loser.
It's not cool to be a loser. Go to school, graduate.
And I was told this when I first got here, and it kind of still stuck with me, is you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. And if you hang out with people who are constantly complaining or stagnant or not getting anywhere in life, you will become a reflection of that. But the same thing goes for the opposite. If you surround yourself with people who, like, you don't have to have the most positive mindset in the world. Like, I still find stuff annoying and I complain. I'm human. But if you surround yourself with other people who have a more positive outlook on life, who have hobbies, who have goals they want to work towards, you will naturally feel motivated. And that is who you want to surround yourself with. And you can't choose who you work with. We're in the military. We can't just leave jobs. We're stuck with our coworkers, whether we like it or not. They are our wingman. And I do have respect for them. Like, they're my coworkers. They're here. They're serving in the military as well. But you have to protect yourself. Do not just fall into the crowd and get lost in the sea. I really had to train myself about this, because mindset is everything. And if you have a negative mindset, you're hurting yourself. Like, nobody's going to come get you out of it. And if anything, people are just going to validate you and continue to pull you down. And then you're going to be like, how did I get here? And it's going to be hard to get back up. You really have to appreciate what you have. A great example is my dorm. The dorm's so depressing. Like, they are so depressing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. When I first got here, I was alone without my family for the first time in a foreign country, not knowing anybody with a time difference, and I'm sitting in my room and I'm like, I look like I'm in a prison. So I did something about it. I made it into this, and that is the mindset you need to have. Like, especially when you're in the military, you don't get to choose, but you can choose what you do with what they give you. And if you can't appreciate like what you have now, you will never be happy. So find the little things in life and be happy about it. Be thankful. Find gratitude in everything, and your life will infinitely be so much happier. One of the things they don't tell you, I feel like just as like an adult in general, but like obviously I'm talking about military, coming in the military, it can be hard to make adult friendships. And not because of like drama or anything. It's just like we're adults and we have our own lives going on, and I get busy too. And I encourage y'all to go meet new people. Be safe about it, please, especially if you're a woman. Don't put yourself in dangerous situations. Make friends like outside of your shops. Compliment strangers. Just talk to random people. I learned it from my dad, because my dad talks to you know, when your parent sees somebody they know in the grocery store and then you're stuck there for like 30-40 minutes. That's my dad. And I don't have the same extrovertedness as my father, but you know, I definitely try to just compliment strangers whenever I can. And it just comes naturally to me, and it's great. And I'll just like talk to random people sometimes, and you just never know what is going to come of that conversation. I was in the clothing store the other day, and I was like, oh my god, they don't have any of my sizes. And there was a guy next to me, and he was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, by the way, congratulations on winning BTZ. And I was like, you watch my videos? You just never know what's going to come of anything. But at the same time, don't be afraid of being alone. Like, sometimes loneliness is better than being surrounded by people who don't truly care about your well-being or your future. And that is okay. And it is hard. It is hard, I will admit, but it is the truth. Like, you will not feel better by surrounding yourself by people who don't have your best interests at heart. And I feel like I'm gonna touch a little bit on mob mentality again, but it is such an important thing that needs to be discussed in the military. It is so easy. It is so easy. And you have to be conscious of it, because you can get stuck in a comfort bubble really easily. And what I mean by that is you just go to work, then you go to the gym, then you get on the game, and then you go to sleep and you wake up and you do it all over again, and then you drink on the weekends. And you're gonna have months, even a year go by, and you look back and you're like, what the hell have I done this last year? And that is hard to realize. And thankfully, I kind of realized it sooner rather than later. I did not waste a whole year, thank God. But it's just so easy to fall into this cycle when that's all you see people doing around you. Go get a hobby. For the love of God, please go get a hobby. I have so many hobbies. I think I'm a very interesting person. I tell people about my hobbies, and they're like, you just make me seem like an alcoholic. I'm like, well, all you do is drink. You kind of are an alcoholic. So I said what I said, but not saying there's anything wrong with going out drinking. I do that occasionally. I'm not a huge drinker, but as of this video, I am senior airman compost. We'll be going out and celebrating me putting on senior airman Kame BTZ. I did make a video about that too, but I will be going out and I'll be doing karaoke, and I will have a good night and I will drink. So I don't think drinking's evil. I just think it's really easy to get stuck in this constant cycle of surviving. And yes, work is great. Like, I have done so much at work, but you can't live for work. Like, you are more than a job. You are a person, and you deserve to live a great life and be happy for it. So make sure you're making a conscious effort to not get stuck in a constant cycle of just surviving. And if you have a family, that's different. I honestly don't expect people that have families to have hobbies or a life, because your family is your responsibility and they are ultimately your first goal. But if you are a single airman, please get out of your dorm. Really good quote that I think about a lot is what you're not changing, you're choosing. And this kind of ties into like the video itself. And if you realize you have outgrown spaces, and I'm going through this right now, and especially with my workplace, if you've realized you've outgrown places and people, that is okay. It is okay. And especially if you have people pleasing tendencies, it can feel hard and it can feel like you're letting people down. But honestly, you are the longest relationship you have with yourself. At the end of the day, when you are on your deathbed, it is just you. Yes, you could be surrounded by people you love, and I hope that for everybody. But you have to look back into yourself and tell yourself you had a good life. Nobody else can do that for you. And if you've noticed you're surrounded by people that just don't suit your life anymore and they're not helping you get anywhere and they're holding you back, it is okay to let go. And I am learning to choose myself and set boundaries, and it is hard. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, be like, oh, just tell people like you don't want to talk about X, Y, and Z. Like, it is hard, and especially when you're in the military, and it's when you're overseas, your work does become your family. But like, not to say like don't be friends with like your coworkers and stuff like that. Really evaluate, are these people that you would hang out with if you weren't in the military? And also ask yourself, are these people actually helping my future? And not to say like you're using people, but kind of goes back into the mob mentality. Is I'm a go-getter, and I have goals and I have visions and I do stuff, and I cannot be spending every weekend drinking, and I cannot just work out and then play games all night. Like, I work out, I come home and I do my hobbies, or I go to school, 'cause I do school as well, or I read a book. And like, I'm constantly trying to enrich my life outside of work to make sure I don't fall into this pattern, because I have fallen into it before. And once you realize you have, and you're just like, that's not who you are, it does not feel good, and you don't want to fall back into that again. By default, things gotta go. Your new life will cost you your old life is so true. And it is hard, but it's necessary, especially as a human being, and we grow and we evolve. And there's a gnat on my, what, how did that gnat get in my room? You have to create your own happiness. You are the source of your own happiness. Don't rely on other people to bring you happiness, because they're gonna walk away and you're gonna feel like you're left with nothing. And also, on a side note, I just want to talk about PCSing real quick. PCSing is such a weird thing. You go with like working with your coworkers, your favorite coworker, or like your leadership. Like, I miss my old section chief so much. He was great. And it's just so weird how like one day they're just gone, and you look back and you're like, oh my God, it's been like 5 months. This dude's been gone since December. And it just really puts in perspective that time waits for nobody. So cherish it. So some of my proudest moments since joining, and I've been doing stuff since tech school. I've been blessed with so many opportunities. I have been coined by so many commanders, like even since tech school. And one of my proudest moments, and it's like, so I get so happy talking about this every single time because it's so cool, is I got coined by my wing commander, a 1-star general and a command chief, for my dorm. This dorm that I'm currently in, I got coined for it. And I was coined in front of the wing. It was like one of those wing events where like they get everybody awards, and I was not a part of the normal award ceremony. And they called me up at the end, so they knew who I was. They remembered to call me up. I was not a slide. And then they gave dedicated speeches to me in front of the entire wing. And that was pretty freaking cool. And I think I blacked out for like half of it, because I was up there for like 10 minutes and I was like, I was not expecting to be called up there. I talked a little bit earlier. I made my dorm what it is because it was depressing, and I refused to like just be a victim of my environment. And I've been posting about it on social media, and it's gone a bit viral, and they saw it. They chose to recognize it because it is great. They recognized me not for Airman Accomplice, but for Isabel. And that was amazing. I also won BTZ, like I mentioned before, and I have made a whole video on it. But BTZ is Airmen Below the Zone. It is a highly competitive thing, and especially because I went up against a wing. I did not have enough people in my squadron, so I went up against a huge pool across all of Kadena, which is one of the biggest bases, by the way, and I won. Simple as that. I am her, okay? I won. And I have done a lot of good things to get that, and I earned that. Like, I earned BTZ. And as of this video, I am senior in my compost. I am putting this on in 5 days. I am so proud of myself because I worked for it and it is what I wanted and I got it. And with that, like I mentioned before, you'll meet a lot of negative people in the military. And I just want y'all to know to never let anybody tell you you can't do something. If you feel like it is meant for you and you know that you can get it, go get it. Don't let anybody discourage you. And people are going to talk shit just to talk shit. Ignore them. You don't make it till you got haters, okay? At the end of the day, it is your career, it is not theirs. And if you fail, they will be happy and be like, oh, I told you, like, BTC, like, people don't usually get it, blah, blah, blah. But if you know that you can get it, go get it. Point blank, period. Don't let anybody discourage you. Find somebody who will encourage you. Some of the biggest lessons that I've learned is don't let anybody steal your light. For example, like I have somebody like I make very corny and cheesy jokes, like cheesy jokes, dad jokes that you're like, oh, brother, I admit that. But I love it. It brings me so much joy. And if I can give you a quarter for every single time that somebody has made fun of me or tried to bring me down or say I was stupid, I would have a lot of money. So don't let people bring you down. Don't be afraid to be yourself and take up space. You are a person. Your life matters and other people don't get to steal that light from you. They don't deserve it because they are miserable and they have their own problems to work on and that is not your problem. And with that, you also have to be your biggest fan because I just told you a moment ago about my accomplishments and they are great. They are amazing, but you would be surprised how many people in my office actually congratulated me for those things. And it really puts in perspective that a lot of people are envious. Like I remember when I got coined by the 1-star general and command chief, and I think I maybe had 4 5 people from my office and like one was my section chief actually congratulate me for getting that. And I'm not trying to like call anybody out or anything, but I remember I was bummed out and I was talking to my friend and she was like, "You are her. Don't let them bum you out. Like you just did something amazing." And I was like, "You know what? I did do something amazing." And that's when I realized that a lot of people are envious. And if you are a go getter and you are constantly bettering yourself, people will be jealous and they will be envious because everybody has the opportunities that I have had. But they are envious because when they see what I have accomplished, they are confronted with the fact that they could do it, but they would have to change. And a lot of people are not willing to change things about themselves. And because of that, instead of confronting the ideology of, okay, maybe like I'm not doing like everything I could be to actually achieve that. Like she's achieving that. Like what can I do? Instead, they'll be like, she didn't deserve that. Like I'm not gonna congratulate her. Like whatever. It's not that even a big of a deal. And you will meet a lot of people like that. And it's because they are stagnant and they are not willing to actually look into themselves and grow as a person. And they will hate on you. And that is huge in the military. Like, you will meet so many people like that. Believe it or not, like, I just told you, like, so many, like, amazing things I did. I have never been put up for, like, a work award besides BTZ. And I think that's more of an airman award than it is a work award, in my opinion. And I have done a lot of things to warrant me getting a work award. And it is like my package was so strong because I did so much. I have done so much as an airman, but I have never been put up for an award, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. But other people get awards all the time in my office, and I make sure I congratulate them because I know what it's like for others to hate on you, just to hate. And I really try to uplift others. And there's this quote that someone told me, and it was like, lift while you climb. And I try to do that all the time, which is why I make these videos because I believe that everybody can have the opportunities that I have. I am not gatekeeping. I want y'all to thrive. And I try to encourage other people around me, but I've got it to a point where I realize you can't explain stuff to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. And that is hard, and it is a hard pill to swallow. But once you grasp it, you can stop spending your energy where it is not needed. This ties back into don't let anybody steal your light. And if people dismiss you, that's a reflection of them and not you. Go treat yourself, girlfriend. Go get yourself some dinner and really surround yourself by people who will uplift you. I mentioned this in my BTC video, but it is very important to mention here too is nobody will care more about your career than you. A good example is my BTC package. I was in that process. I was being annoying. So you're not even being annoying, you're caring about your career. But I would go like, hey, like, how's my package going? Hey, like, has this been worked on? Has it been given to chief? I would even go ask my section chief, hey, has chief submitted it to the wing? Because it had to be submitted by a certain day. And like that deadline is a hard deadline. So I was involved in the whole process. And I would recommend for y'all to not just blindly hand over your career to others, especially for EPBs. Like, be a part of your EPB process, and you do not have to sign your EPB right away. I don't have an EPB yet, but I have seen so many people get messed up. Let's just say that. And they just sign it because they don't know that they can try and fight it. Yes, like, you can only do so much, but be involved in your processes. And don't be afraid to go and ask, like, hey, how can I be put up for awards? Hey, I want to get this award. What can I do? You have to be proactive about your career because no one's going to come up to you. Okay, I'm not going to say nobody because maybe, like, I would. Like, but some people, for the most part, are not going to come up to you and be like, hey, what are you doing with your life? And where do you want to go? And do you want to do X, Y, and Z? No one's going to do that unless they really truly care about their troops. And you have to be proactive and you have to know what you want. And even if you don't know what you want, just do random things. Like hey, I want to be put up for the Airman of the Quarter blue suit and go ask how you can do that. And if you don't get it, well, you tried. And I am proud of you for trying because most people don't. Take opportunities that you can and be proactive about your career, especially if you want to stay in the military and you want to advance and do other things. Stay proactive. So I know everything I just talked about was really heavy, but this is honestly everything I would go back and tell myself before I joined, or even just a year ago. Like, I have grown so much in this last year, and everything I've talked about besides the EPP thing, I have experienced, and it can be hard, and especially when you're overseas and you don't really have family and especially just navigating your 20s and your adult life and trying to figure out like who you are. It can be rough, and I really wanted to make this video in hopes that I can help better equip y'all. And also, enjoy life. Like, I've had so many funny moments. Take photos, like, make memories. I've honestly had so many fond and happy memories since joining the military. The military can give you so many experiences if you take them. And I always say it's not what I can do for the military, it's what the military can do for me. Because at the end of the day, like, you really are just another airman. But this is my life, and those are two different things. And if I want something, I'm gonna take it. Especially like with the breast reduction and stuff like that. Like, I went and I was like, I want a breast reduction. Obviously, there's more into it, and I made a whole video on the process. But you can have so many opportunities if you just take it. And I do like the military. Like, I plan on staying in. I plan on commissioning. I'm going to school for my bachelor's. I want to be an officer, and I love helping people. And that is what I want to do, which is also why I make these videos. I like helping people and giving others advice. I'm an older sister. I have 4 younger brothers, and I think of myself in this channel as like sisterly advice. And I am so grateful. I don't want to get emotional, but I am so grateful for all the past versions of myself because without them, without her, I would not be where I'm sitting today. And you are not obligated to stay the same person you were a year ago, a month ago, or even a day ago. This is your life, and I urge all of y'all to take it. Like, make risk, see the world, take opportunities, talk to strangers, because you just never know what will come out of it. And with that, I thank y'all for watching this video. If you guys find it helpful, please consider thumbsing it up and subscribing down below. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to comment them down below and I will answer y'all. And with that, I will see y'all next time.